Today I really want to talk about a simple topic, right? Are you really happy? Right? So when I say are you really happy today, I want to ask you a very simple question. Are you really happy, dude? Like, are we actually happy? I don't want you to answer me immediately. Don't just say, yeah, I'm good. And then, because that's what we normally say when people ask how we are doing. Take a moment, right? And honestly think about it, right? I want you to, when you're alone, I want you to think about this. When you're alone, when your phone is off, when the people are not around you, no friends, no family, are you genuinely happy with your life? Are you actually like being like, yo, I'm really content where I am? I fucking love my life right now, Or you just simply, become good at pretending, because human beings or people, they're just really good at pretending to look happy when they're not happy. So ask yourself, are you really happy? Be honest with yourself because you know yourself better than anyone. Let's not lie to each other, right? And because today a lot of us know how to look happy, how to look happy, you know, because today, it's just easier to look happy. You can post videos, photos of you laughing, smiling for the camera, making our life look exciting. We're just so happy always, but nobody posts the moment where you turn home and you're alone, you're suddenly feeling empty, right? Nobody shows the fear that they feel or the fear that they are falling behind in life. We're constantly comparing each other people's public lives to our private emotions, or when here we're like, what, how are they happy and I'm not, and like I said, that comparison will almost make us feel like we are losing because that's not fair, It's a public life versus a private life. You see a couple of people smiling, you assume the relationship is perfect. You see someone traveling and you think they must be so happy in their life, they must be really chilling with all that money and all that. And you may already have things that, an earlier version of you always wanted, but you just don't realize it. You used to pray for this, but you no longer notice them because human beings, when they get used to things, they get used to it very quickly, right? Because we receive something we wanted, enjoy it for a little while and then begin searching for the next thing. And that's good, right? Because let's say, I'll give you an example, right? I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy, when I quit, when I get a job. I'll be happy when I get a house. I'll be happy when I get a car. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I have kids. I'll be happy when I retire. I'll be happy when I travel. Dude, when are we gonna be happy? You're constantly pushing it into the future. Like, buddy, what are we doing? When are we gonna be happy? What if I have to wait until I get a job or get married and I'm like, I don't know, I'm dead. I don't know. Like, I just can't be happy no more. What? No. You can be content with yourself, with whatever you have. You can appreciate whatever you have, and that's already a sign of happiness, appreciation of whatever you have. You always wanted this, but when you got it, you appreciate it for a little bit, and then you moved. Yes, you moved to another thing, but I don't want you to be uncontent with yourself. I want you to be happy. Because you're always postponing. What happens? You're always postponing the next stage of happiness. If you spend your entire life waiting for the next stage, pretty much, what happens when you finally reach your goal and discover that the emptiness came with you, even when you got here? You say, okay, let's say you got married, but you still feel empty. So where the happiness at? You got this car, you got this you got this big house, but you're still unhappy, you're still empty. So where is the stuff that you were saying? You see, it didn't change because you're always putting the future before yourself, right? Because your happiness cannot be, it cannot completely depend on something that has not happened yet. That's just not how it works. That's just not real. That's a wall that you put. Maybe the problem is not that you do not have enough, but maybe the problem is that you never stop long enough to appreciate what's already there. right? Maybe being able to wake up in the morning, having a healthy body, having a healthy, having a roof, having a place where to sleep, having food on your table, having a family. This I don't know, dinner table, eating with your family, a meal with your family, a real conversation with a friend, a song, not a song, a peaceful evening after a difficult day, a moment where you laugh that you temporarily forget your problems. Having these small things, you know, because we often confuse happiness with constant excitement. We always need something new, a new notification, a new person, a new video, whatever. Always I wanted something new. I always want something new. The moment things become quiet, we can't stay alone with our thoughts. We reach for our phones, our laptops, PCs, whatever. You always trying to run away. And sometimes we do not like what we find inside our ideas, our head. Realize that we are tired and this is just a phase. You just look, like I said, you look happy, but you're not happy. You're acting happy, but you're not happy. Realize, that we feel lost. And it's okay, that we're doing things we don't really enjoy. We are doing things that we don't want to do. That we are doing things around certain people that we don't even like. We're only here because we are scared of being alone. You don't want that feeling. We're like, let's say we're seeking attention or validation, desperate. We need that because from people who are not thinking about us as nearly as much as we imagine. A lot of people are not living for themselves. Is what I'm trying to say. They're living to prove something to others, not to themselves. They want to prove that they became successful this way. They want to prove, that they became attractive. They want to prove they have this money. They want to prove, um, you know, that they have this thing that others don't. You know, they want to prove that the people who reject or adopted them or doubted, what is it called when you doubt someone? Doubt? I forgot. Anyway, when you not doubt. What am I saying? Reject. When you reject someone, you know, um, they're always trying to prove to this person who rejected them that, yo, I got here. It's always there's validation from the other side that doesn't even like you. you know but who you're trying to prove this to, is what I'm trying to say. Someone who hurt you years ago, people who laughed at you, people who didn't like you, complete strangers. People change their minds. One day they praise you, one day they forget about, the next day they criticize you. They forget about everything you did. I'm giving you an example. Cristiano Ronaldo, right? I'm just giving an example, okay? Let's not over exaggerate here. This guy was, at some point, he was the greatest player, one of the greatest player in the world, okay, in the game. He had this mindset, this discipline that others didn't have. He was a goal scorer. Anything you need, this guy did in the field, right? But then he did one problem, one thing, and then they just criticize him. It's like dude did nothing in his life. They just forget about anything. This is a human. This is what a human is. This how can I say this the right way? This is what humans are, pretty much. This is the real face of humans. This is the real trait of human beings. They're always switching sides. They can't stay in one side, But, the next day, their attention moves another place, and they keep going. They keep doing their own thing. You cannot build a lasting peace on something that's unstable. It's just not how it works. It's always unstable. You're always, always waiting for this validation from the other side. Sometimes the main reason we're not happy is the way we speak to ourselves. We make one mistake, yo, I'm useless. We make this bad decision, yo, what am I doing? I'm never gonna succeed. I lost everything. That's it. I'm a loser. Somebody leaves us and we're like, bro, there's no way there's no one someone's gonna like me again. You just become insecure about this. You actually don't like yourself. Who are you comparing yourself to, bro? Behind compared to who? There's no single timeline that every human being is supposed to follow. I don't think anyone have I don't think people have the same timeline of success pretty much. Some people become successful when they're very young, and then they lose everything when they grow up, and the other way could be, you lose everything when you're young. When you grow up a little bit, you win everything. So what I'm trying to say, some people spend years confused, before finally discovering what they're meant to do. Some people find love early, late. Others find it later. Some people change their careers at 30, 40, 50. I swear, this is something that happens. But it's just, it doesn't mean your life, is not a failure just because it does not look like somebody's else life. Your life is not a failure, because everyone's life is different. You can have a bad day without having a bad life. Having a bad day doesn't mean your life is going to be shit. You can feel lost without being permanently lost. At some point you're lost, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, but you can't be lost like the whole time. When you're exhausted, everything looks darker, everything looks, I don't know, everything looks just, you don't want to do it, man. When your heart is broken, you believe the pain will never end. When you know um just think about it like this. When you think about the things that once destroyed you, and you barely like destroyed you and barely cross your mind today, you already have survived moments that you thought you would never get over. You'd be like, dude, I can never survive like a breakup. I don't know how you did it, Jake. And then after a year, the guy himself who said that to Jake is like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling good lately, but I'm getting over it. And then you just realize that you always criticized or said this to the other person. And then you're here and you're like, oh shit, I got over this. Because you're still here. Being happy does not mean never feeling sad. It does not mean smiling. It does not mean you have to smile every second. It does not mean you're having a perfect life. But it means that real happiness is accepting that a human life, a complete human life, contains many different emotions. There will be beautiful days, there will be bad days, there will be bad good days, normal days. Like, you're not a machine, bro. Like, you do not need to be productive every day. You do not have to have value in your life, or have value by itself. You do not always need to appear strong. You don't always have to appear this unbreakable spirit, this unbreakable, human. Like, talk to someone, ask for help. I don't know, take a step back, rest, and sometimes becoming happy requires you to remove things from your life. It could be a relationship, a friendship that hurts you, a habit that steals time from your day. You cannot hold on to everything that's destroying your peace, and you're like, when am I gonna be in peace? It doesn't work like that. Let's not lie. You have to sacrifice something. So how do you know whether you're really happy? Ask yourself, can you spend some time alone without feeling completely empty? Does the life I'm living match the things that I wanted, or the person I wanted to be? Do I respect myself with my decisions, or do I back down? Can I be myself around the people that I like, or my friends? Am I following my own dreams I always wanted to do? Or am I chasing somebody's definition of success? Always, you can start small, sleep a little better, start with something small. Spend less time, go outside for a walk, spend less time on your phone, return to somebody who makes you feel good, chatting with him, with her. You're still learning, you're still becoming the person that you want to be. I just need you to know that you have to be patient, because you are still here. You still have time. You can leave who is hurting you. You can leave you can leave the place that's holding you back. You can forgive yourself. You can begin again. You can start again. You can learn to appreciate the life that you have today, while continuing to build the life that you want tomorrow. Okay, so I just need you to stay, take a deep breath, and think about it, and just start again if you're in the wrong path. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.